DNVR Broncos live, coming to you from Studio A here at the DNVR Bar, where the A stands for anew. As in the
Again.
Broncos.
Yeah, again.
Broncos have started anew with some new players.
Again. They started anew again. They started anew a lot recently.
How many words do you really think I can use?
I mean, there's got to be a lot of A words.
There's got to be like...
I think I'm just going to retire the bit. I'm tired of your guys' reactions.
Hey,
No,
hey.
no.
I haven't said anything. That was Henry.
No, I just think that you can do better. You're capable
It was
of
fun
more.
while it lasted, guys. Hope you enjoyed
Wow.
Wow, we're really
Done.
starting off on a good note here. This
Wow.
new week, this new era in Broncos country. Jerry Jeudy's fifth-year option, just starting off on a little sour note.
it. What does that have to do with... Why is Jerry Jeudy's fifth-year option sour?
Well, just
It
because of the
wasn't.
start of the pod is sour.
Oh,
The fifth-year option's a no-brainer. I mean, honestly, the only question, which now it's not a question we don't actually have to talk about, but what took so long?
Yeah.
It was that much of a no-brainer where it was like, what are we waiting on?
Yeah, if they didn't, the A would have stood for "Are you insane?"
There's 16,869 words that start with the letter A.
I think I'm small.
He's still stuck
think
on this.
so? You
He's
think
still stuck
them
on
all?
this.
RK, you could have started
Wow.
with apathy.
Like the A is never going to stand for aardvark
Why not?
because
Well, if they do
Aardvark's-
like a community thing at the zoo.
they
No,
won't.
I think more
they don't
so.
do community things anymore.
You're
They
good.
might.
Yeah, that's true. You're good with college mascots. What college is an aardvark? If the Broncos had drafted, there's got to be an aardvark.
There's an anteater,
Yeah, there
which
are
is
the
also an A.
anteaters.
I don't think they have many good football players.
I don't think there's any aardvarks.
Really?
Maybe like
On
a
the
D3
mascot there.
school or
Do
something.
you know? What? In
There is one, by the way. Just found it.
what is
Alligator?
Is
it?
it a real school?
Cool.
Tell us.
Ames Community College.
Shut the fuck up.
Ames
How many-
Community
how many
College
guys
in
got drafted?
Iowa. How about that?
Ames Community College. Wow, that
The
is a bad one.
Aardvarks.
That's not a real
They,
school.
they
The
didn't
Fighting
draft anybody
Aardvarks.
from Alabama.
Fighting.
They didn't?
They did. Yes.
Wait.
Drew Sanders is.
Oh, Arkansas
Alabama.
also.
Roll Tide. Yeah.
Nope.
Again, you could have
He's
just...
a Razorback.
Arkansas also
he,
works.
He went to just like Jalen Hurts went to Alabama longer than his other school.
oh.
2 years at Alabama.
Chris Gonzalez
One
is a
year.
buff.
Christian Gonzalez is a buff.
Mekhi Blackman was a buff.
2 top 3 round
If you want
draft picks
to,
for
sure,
the Buffs.
sure, yeah.
Wow.
Okay, so let's start with Jerry because I don't think there's too much to talk about here other than like the price and I guess what the Broncos, what he has to do to earn a long-term extension.
Yeah, and so with Jerry, you're looking at $12.987 million for the 2024 season. So the fifth-year option's really weird. Let's take a quick step back. You have to pick up the fifth-year option before they even start their fourth year in the NFL. I don't really know why they do it that way, but so today they made the decision on Jerry Jeudy's future for the 2024 season, meaning he will be back at just under $13 million, and that puts him, as of right now, the 27th highest paid receiver in the NFL in the 2024 season, which is a no-brainer to me because if you're thinking about picking up Jerry Jeudy's option, then you think he's a top 30 receiver in the NFL, and with Jerry Jeudy, the talk, and it still is, about his potential, what he can do. When he came back at the end of last season after his injury, he was, I think he had the 5th most receiving yards in the NFL in that stretch. So he showed what his potential is, and his potential is way more than the 27th highest paid receiver in the NFL. And so you really don't pick up a fifth-year option if you think the guy is a bust. That's really the only reason Jerry is not a bust. Has he lived up to his draft pick? Maybe not as of right now, but if you're anywhere close to it, you pick it up.
Yep.
I legitimately think his ceiling is highest paid receiver in the NFL.
Yeah.
And I say that not to say that he's necessarily the best, but to say if he balls out this year and next year to the level in which I believe he is capable of, then he will get one of those reset the market deals.
And right now, for the 2024 season, who the 2 highest paid receivers are, and I think it's a good distinction, highest paid compared to best. You know who those 2 are? Don't think of best.
The two most recent extensions.
Nope. For the 2024 season, cap hit wise, I should
That'd be
say.
like Christian Kirk.
No,
Who's going in the last year of their deal?
they're both on the same team. Which
A.J.
is,
Brown?
which is wild.
No.
So this won't be the
Devontae
case
Smith
next
wouldn't
year.
yet.
They're not going to be on the same team next year. They're making a combined almost $70 million in cap hit in the 2024 season.
Oh, Mike Evans?
Nope. Another Mike, though.
Michael Thomas.
yeah.
Think close to
Mike Williams
think
and
close to
Keenan
home.
Allen.
There it is.
But again,
Yep.
like that's kind
Keenan
of like
Allen and Mike Williams are the two highest paid receivers in terms of cap hit next
Yeah.
year. And so to talk about a deal that would reset the market, you're talking about over $31 million. That's what Tyreek Hill's contract is there. So that's even shows you how much more of a deal this could be if Jerry Jeudy not is a top 5 receiver, but if Jerry Jeudy's a top 20 receiver in the NFL, you're getting a great deal.
Yeah. I mean, you don't think twice about these fifth-year options on guys who are good. That's really what it comes down to. Like, if you like the player, you pick it up.
Yeah,
And
you don't have to
pretty
love
much
him.
9 times out of 10, maybe 99 times out of 100, it's a good deal for you.
Right.
Unless you drafted like a fullback in the first round.
Right, exactly. Where you don't pick up the 5th-year options is a guy like Chase Young, who the Commanders didn't pick up the option for. Where just to talk about his productivity, I mean, I think the Commanders maybe even should have picked it up,
Yes.
but his productivity, 1.5 sacks in the past 2 years. You want to talk about a disappointment. Now, I know he's been dealing with injuries, but I mean, that is like unbelievably low production.
I mean, honestly, when I heard that stat, I realized I haven't heard anyone talk about Chase Young in a long time. But I feel like the last time I was watching Chase Young, he was like still game wrecking. Like,
oh yeah.
so
Whenever
it's
he's been on the field, he's been sick.
right. So that's why I'm like,
But not even the past 2 years. I know he hasn't been on the field
How
a
many
lot,
games
but he
has he
hasn't
played?
been sick.
Yeah.
I think he's played about half of each season.
okay.
That's more than what I thought.
Yeah,
I
I mean,
think I
1.5
could be
sacks
wrong,
and
but-
16 starts would be really bad.
I think it's around there.
That's what I mean, though. I'm like, man, maybe he just disappeared, and the last time I heard of him, he was still good, and now he's not anymore.
Yeah, yeah, which is just wild. And
I still think you probably should have picked it up.
okay, it's He's
Yes.
played in 12 games.
Yeah,
Oh,
But
okay.
still,
That's what I
not
thought.
good.
1.5 sacks in 12 games is awful.
Yeah.
And you could even maybe give him a break, like 4 of those games were his first game back, kind of like easing in, low snap count, but still.
But I mean, that's the type of, just in comparison of teams that don't pick up 5th-year options, it's because production is that bad.
Yep.
And Jerry's, I mean, production has been out of the charts compared
Yeah.
to something like that. So this was a no-brainer. And honestly, if things go right, Jerry Jeudy should not be playing on that 5th-year option next year. And what I mean by that is Jerry shows enough, whether it's midway through this season, through this entire season, and the Broncos get a little bit of a head start in terms of paying him and maybe get a little bit of a discount, because if he turns it on and shows it this year, well, you don't want to lose him in free agency and let him be a top 5 receiver for another team. So, and if you let him play on that 5th-year option, man, it means you aren't just going to make him a highest paid receiver. You're going to probably really reset the market if you
Yeah.
have to wait until he puts 2 really good seasons together.
Because as of now, Spot Rack, they say his market value is like 81 million over 4 years.
So 20 mil a year.
Yeah. And so if you play out more, the sooner you get a deal done, the better with these things.
Yeah.
Especially with somebody like Jerry. But I think the biggest thing with the extension is how it impacts Courtland Sutton and Tim Patrick. One of those guys is gone next year. Like, I think it's pretty much that simple. Like, they obviously are in the cap situation they're in. They will have one of the 5 highest paid receiving rooms. Who knows? Maybe those guys are all productive enough that they say, yeah, we can run it back. Like, this is justified. But more likely, they can save $10 million getting rid of either one of those guys. Plus, you just drafted Marvin Mims. I mean, one of those two is gone because they picked up this option.
With Jerry Jeudy making even significantly less than the $13 million he's going to make in 2024, the Broncos still have the 3rd highest paid receiver room in the NFL this year. So then you add a significant jump for Jerry next year with Tim and Courtland's numbers probably going up in terms of cap hit. These all 3 of these guys won't be back next year unless, they're all 1,000-yard receivers and
Exactly.
incredibly productive.
And
which
Mims
is, just,
is no good, and KJ gets hurt.
right, which is
Yeah.
just such a, even with the Sean Payton boost, it's such a stretch to say that the Broncos are going to have 3 1,000-yard receivers. And honestly, we even got a little taste of it from Albert Breer, I believe, on Saturday morning, that the conversations surrounding these Broncos wide receivers for this year aren't fully done. Albert Breer said he was even looking at the Broncos, or not, this wasn't like a report that the Broncos are looking to trade one of these guys, but he said now it's on to the 2024 draft capital that the Broncos would get from one of these guys. I don't think it's going to be for Jerry. I think the guy you kind of look at and you don't pump it up, but you just kind of keep an eye on. Do they move Courtland Sutton even before this season for 2024 draft capital, especially with them making this obvious, but it's a commitment to Jeudy for the 2024 season.
And then there's other stuff like the Vikings. Like there was the rumor that they have a deal done with an AFC team, but they're waiting until June 1st so that they can split the cap hit. So like this is a little bit of a conspiracy theory, but there's a chance maybe the Broncos are that team. Like that seems like a Sean Payton guy, and they didn't draft a running back. So could they look at it as we can trade Sutton, we can use that capital plus a little bit more to make this deal for Dalvin Cook? In that world, I like it. Unless you're finding a way to get another weapon.
It was reported that the Vikings have a deal. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I could have sworn you said the Lions.
Oh, maybe I did.
No, I think you said Vikings.
Okay, good.
Wow, that's so weird.
Yeah.
Mine just went to another NFC North
Like
team.
you said Vikings. Somehow I heard Lions, and I was just thinking like Lions. Who? What
Wait,
Lions?
Swift. I mean, it would make sense.
But he's already gone
They traded him?
to the Eagles.
Oh, you're right. You're
Yep.
right. You're right. Man, there were so many things going
I know.
on in Broncos country.
So that's why I was like, is there another running back?
Right.
Yeah.
Jahmyr Gibbs?
Yeah. It makes sense to me. I almost wonder if the Broncos, now I don't know if they have this sort of patience or if they just want to get things moving, if the Broncos wouldn't try to showcase him and up his value. You know, like Courtland Sutton is absolutely capable of 125 yards and a touchdown in a game.
Yeah.
Maybe even twice in the first 4 weeks.
Sure.
Then you turn around to someone and say, all right, you want him? You know, like, this is what he can do. He's still got it. Could work.
Then his value goes from fourth, fifth right now to, second or third.
Yeah.
Definitely. Definitely. And we know Sean Payton is confident in what he can do with receivers, undrafted guys, let alone guys who are former second-round picks. So it's going to be an interesting thing moving forward, seeing how not only this impacts Jerry and maybe future negotiations, but also seeing that wide receiver room as well. Any other thoughts on this, guys?
Just excited for Jerry. I really hope that this is the year that the scheme and the quarterback and Jerry all click together.
And we saw it the last 5 weeks of the season. Like if he's just that guy for an entire year, he will be. I mean, there was an argument he was the best receiver in the league for that time. I mean, most fantasy points, like it's kind of dumb, but it also combines yards and catches and touchdowns into one metric. So if he's that guy for an entire season, then $13 million, you're going to be saying you should be making double that.
So the Broncos are high on Jerry Jeudy, at least to the tune of $13 million for the 2024 season. After the draft, Sean Payton and George Paton talked, and we found out some very interesting things, I thought. And one of the things that was interesting was Sean is not very high on this tight end room, at least going into the draft. And that's one of the reasons why they made the trade for Adam Trautman, the tight end from the Saints. And we've talked to him now 3 times in the past 10 days, and I don't think he said we need a position except for talking about the tight ends. He said going into the draft, we needed tight ends. We needed a tight end for that room. And I just thought, man, and he obviously is high on Chris Manhurst. He brought him in this offseason, but he's very much just a blocking tight end.
It's a limited player.
For Greg Dulcich, I mean, I just think that's kind of a sting. I mean, Greg Dulcich.
He doesn't like curly-haired, short tight ends?
I guess not.
According to Mike Cliff.
Yes, exactly. And we haven't heard him say, I don't think, any good things about Greg Dulcich this offseason. Greg Dulcich was a lone bright spot when he was healthy last year of this Broncos offense, and it just does not seem that he's very high on him.
And
It's odd.
you just don't have a starting tight end at the moment. That's the thing. Like, you have Manhurts who can do whatever. You have Dulcich who, I personally don't trust his health. I would imagine a lot of people don't. I'd imagine they don't, considering everything that he went through last year. But then on top of that, he doesn't block. Like, he just runs and catches the ball, and that's valuable, but it leaves plenty of room for improvement. Then behind those two, before Trautman, they had nothing. Like, they had nothing. They had Alberto, who, You know my thoughts on Alberto. That's not an NFL player.
Man, I actually think Alberto is going to benefit maybe more than anyone in the tight end room from Sean Payton.
I don't think he's going to even make the team, though.
I think Sean Payton's hiring
Pizza bet?
was
Sure.
20 catches or doesn't make the team. There's a winner. Anything in between is a tie.
I love it.
It just have to
Okay.
be straight up. He makes the team for my bet to win.
Then how did he benefit?
Well, how did he benefit? Because everyone thought he was gone. I mean, I think if any other coach was here, I think it'd be easy to say that Alberto's just not on the team. I think what is tough is the numbers game because now Chris Manhertz is going to make the team. Man, Sean Payton said we've cut 4th-round picks in the past. Greg Dulcich, a 3rd-round pick, so he didn't go as high as the 3rd round. I think Greg Dulcich, I don't think they're going to cut him. You have Trautman, who's going to make the team. And then I guess that 4th one could be Alberto. But you also have a true fullback on the team, so you kind of count him in there. So I'm not saying it's a lock that
Sometimes
Alberto's
you
going
count
to
him
make
as
the
a
team.
running back. It
But I
depends on the
think
guy.
I think
Especially this year,
That's
it's
true.
Javonte.
That's true. But I just think that Alberto benefited more from Sean Payton hiring than any other tight end.
I love Sean Payton in like his first meeting with the rookies is going to say, I've cut a 4th-round pick before, like just to light a fire under him.
He absolutely, and he actually made that clear at the end of the press conference on Friday or on Saturday. He said, now that we've acquired all of these guys, I don't care how we acquired them. I don't care how much money you're making. I don't care what place you were drafted in. And he said, that's what I'm going to tell the rookies and these tryout guys, because it's not just rookies, undrafted guys. There's tryout guys that are technically on the podium. They're even lower than the undrafted guys. He says, I don't care how you're here. We're going to play the best players. And I actually
Believe him.
believe that from Sean Payton, where I don't believe that from 90% of coaches in sports, really, specifically the NFL. And I love that. I absolutely love that about Sean.
Most coaches don't necessarily have the autonomy to cut a guy who was drafted in the 4th round.
It's true.
You know, like the general manager would be like, whoa, that's my 4th-round pick,
Yeah,
bud.
yeah.
You can't cut him.
Yeah.
And then, whatever. But Sean, I fully believe him when he says he will cut you if you do not perform.
Sean
Maybe
might-
literally and figuratively.
Sean might go out of his way to draft somebody who he thinks is kind of a shithead in the 4th round so that he can cut him. Maybe that's a little too
No.
extreme. I don't know. But what's George Payton going to do? Say like, no, I don't think we should do that. It's like, I don't care.
I think
This is just to prove a point. This is culture.
I think more so what Sean could do is look at last year's draft class,
Yeah.
specifically the 2 highest picks in that draft class, a 2nd-round pick in Nick Bonito, a 3rd-round pick in Greg Dulcich. I'm not predicting this is going to happen, but say, those weren't my picks, so it's even easier for me to move on from them. And to your point, to send a message to the rest of the team, boom, you're gone, Nick Bonito. Boom, you're gone, Greg Dulcich.
thing
Again,
is-
I'm not saying, I just think that's way
Something
more
he would do.
realistic than like he drafts a guy just to cut
Well,
him.
yeah. But the thing is, I don't think they would cut those guys because they could just trade them. And if you're trading them, that doesn't really send as... The message isn't as harsh. Like, there's still something to like, oh, you only got 6th-rounder for that guy and you want to get rid of him. It's not the same as like, bang, you're gone.
If you trade Nick Bonito a year after he was a 2nd-round pick for a 6th-round pick, that does send a message.
But it doesn't send the same message to the team.
Yeah,
Exactly.
yeah. Really quick, though, want to give
Just to
credit
Nick.
to Nick Bonito and Christopher Allen. On Saturday during the draft, they were in the Broncos facility at like 9 a.m., maybe even earlier, but that's when I got there. They were there at 9 a.m. on a Saturday working out, doing drills on their own. So you like to see it. Does it mean they're going to be players? No, but at least they're working.
I love that.
Yeah.
In April, I think it was April 27th or April 29th, they're doing that. So credit to them.
And we've totally forgotten about Chris Allen still. I mean, and deservedly so because he tore his ACL and didn't play last year. But, I mean, there's the Art Green hype right now. They gave him $180,000 guaranteed and all that. That's the exact same number Chris Allen got last year.
Art Green sounds like someone who people would be telling me like, in 1972, the
Yeah.
Broncos had this guy, Art Green.
Yep.
You wouldn't have believed the
Yeah.
ball skills.
Yeah.
So true. It's so true.
Oh,
Man.
yeah. But the list there, I mean, like, Delarian Turner-Yell, he's almost definitely gone if Kareem comes back, and he's on the bubble if not.
Yep.
Yeah, see, those
Luke
are,
Wattenberg, he's gone.
I mean, those are all just easy
Montrell Washington gone.
decisions.
I know, but that's like the majority of your draft class.
Yeah. I just, yeah. And again, Sean's not going to have any issue doing that. How'd you guys celebrate after the draft ended?
Breckenridge Brewery.
Exactly. You went to the Nuggets
I was
game.
trying to think.
I was
Yeah.
truly asking.
I forget things really fast.
I had a
now.
couple shandies.
I was at the Nuggets game.
You were at
yes.
the Nuggets game, Henry.
I was just down there at the bar.
Down at
Yeah,
the bar.
Down there cutting clips.
Had to have myself a Breck beer.
Oh, yeah.
Me too.
After, of course, to watch the Nuggets destroy the Suns in Game 1. We got Game 2 tonight. Breckenridge beer is the beer to have, whether you're at Ball Arena, whether you're at the DNVR bar, whether you're at home. Get yourself some Breck Brew. Go to breckbrew.com to find their beer locator, to find not
Can you
just where
imagine
you can.
watching a game at somewhere else other than those 3 places?
I did like
No.
once or twice in the first round, and then like I had friends a couple days ago say like, "Hey, there's people coming over to watch a game if you want." I was like, I could do it in the first round. At this point, like here the rest of the way, just so you know, I'm either at the bar or at the game.
Yeah.
Like I don't really have any. There's no more watch from home.
It's true. Yeah.
Yeah, I can even understand home, but if you're not at home, at the bar, or at the game, you're in the wrong place.
100%. Yeah, there's no better. I actually think this is a better environment. Not better, but this rivals being at the stadium.
It is. It's every bit as loud.
That's the coolest part.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I will say, being in the stadium for that game was so sick.
Game 1 of the last series was sick too.
There was these long, so like, I feel like I've become a connoisseur of like the sounds that crowds make, and I've never heard the Ball Arena Nuggets crowd do the extended loud cheer. So it's like everyone's cheering really loud, really loud, really loud, really loud, and then there's a little low. And then it goes back, it like re-crescendos. It was so sick.
What point of the game was that?
Like, remember when Jamal hit the second 3 in a row? It was like the little pull up on the fast break from
Yeah.
the pass from Bruce
Yeah.
Brown, like that one. It's like everyone goes crazy on the shot, then it comes down, but then everyone re-amps it up, and it's just like, damn, like, I don't know. You know the sound in the movie theater when they're like just kind of like flexing the speakers before the movie starts? It's like, that's the sound.
Oh man, I'm glad to hear the Nuggets have that energy that the Avs had last year.
Yep.
Yes.
I have a theory.
What
They
is it?
traded places.
Ah, okay.
Everything is adding up like perfectly
Did the Nuggets lose in the first round last year?
to the Warriors.
Damn, that was the first round.
And
Wow.
and they were Nuggets were super injured. Avs were the 1 seed.
Yeah. Okay, I mean, I'll take it. You take a championship from a team in the city each year. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So, anyways, check out our friends over at breckbrew.com.
And also Volo Sports. We've got the bowling league going right now. Monday nights, it's a lot of fun. It's like a rotating group of people each week, rotate the bowlers in. If you guys want to have like a more
Our
dedicated team,
sucks. Just being honest.
thought
I
you
had
were on
heard
it.
the
I
rumors.
thought-
One guy hit triple digits last week. Is that what I heard?
Yep.
No.
And it wasn't me.
Oh no!
You were
Ryan.
under 100
Yeah. First time, honestly, maybe I can remember.
after
Wow.
all the shit you
Wow.
talked.
I didn't really talk shit. But
Oh my goodness! What?
Hold on.
That sounded like Ball Arena after Jamal hit a three.
Hold on. There's a difference between hyping yourself up and talking shit.
Okay.
Talking shit would be like, fuck you guys.
Well,
I'm him.
I think I said I would beat him.
Yeah, you.
And where have you been?
I could
Uh-huh.
show
There
up
you
and
go.
I can beat him.
It won't happen again. It was
I can go
honestly
hit
probably the
100.
first time I bowled in 3 years.
Oh,
So it was just I didn't even get a
think with
warm
that
up game.
personalized ball, you just stay locked in though.
That's true. That's true.
It's not
I
like
would
there's
think
any
so too,
adjustments.
but I let the team down.
Wow.
I went like
Do you
Tim
have your own
Tebow
shoes?
speech afterwards.
Oh,
You'll
okay.
never see
Yeah,
another
yeah,
player
yeah.
work harder.
Yep.
You
So
know,
then let me ask a follow up. How many times have you been in the bowling alley since?
every day, every night,
So you just lied to me. You just lied now.
Yeah.
Why? You think Tim Tebow would lie after that speech?
probably. Tim Tebow
No.
lied about a lot of things.
What?
There's no way.
Wow. That's a podcast now. What did Tim Tebow's lies?
Yeah, we could probably do a whole series.
Oh, I know the one you're talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No idea.
Anyways,
Moving along. There's a bunch of different sports that you can play there. And again, so the point of all of it is so that the kids can play for free. They have the Volo Kids Foundation. It's a separate 501c3. It provides free sports camps to kids in every Volo city, including Denver. They also have a monthly membership so you can get unlimited access to sports, events, and social activities every night. It's unlimited pickups and drop-ins and tournaments. It's $20 a month or $200 a year. There's also a beta version for $10 a month for 3 months. Leagues all over Denver and Inglewood and Arvada and everywhere around here. So get your Volo Pass and start playing in leagues today. Make sure to use the code DNVR10 for $10 off at www.volosports.com/Denver. Not DNVR/Denver.
Here's the thing, like, whenever I go bowling, I always play 3 games.
Oh.
Excuse coming in?
First one's a warm-up.
Okay.
Second one's real. Third one's real. I didn't know what to expect. I thought it was going to be, like, at least 2.
Yeah.
We just got there. We're on the
one?
clock. It was like frame 4 before I even felt like knew what I was doing again, and it was already too late.
I don't know. I feel
So
like
next time I go, I'm gonna at least play like 2 games before our real one.
I feel like if you start feeling at game 4, you can at least what's it called? Not game
Frame 4.
Frame 4. You can at least get to 100, Ryan.
Yeah,
We're not
no.
asking for
Yeah.
a 200 game from you.
I know.
Yeah.
It was ugly.
Wow.
It was ugly.
Oof.
Your shirt isn't ugly though.
Yeah, it's pretty.
I like
dope.
it.
Thank you.
Going for the Nuggets 2-0 lead tonight. Let's hope.
Man, if they just come out with that same vigor,
They'll win the title.
yeah.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
I totally agree. Man, great series too. I mean, not the Nuggets, but Lakers Warriors is going to be fun. And then
I love that. Just like California is gonna just tear itself apart.
it's true. You're
yeah.
right. yeah.
Like they're gonna be so emotionally exhausted after that because it's just like
Yeah.
Yeah.
the fans will be exhausted, the players will be exhausted.
Absolutely. They're going to get all the national coverage from it.
yeah.
Absolutely. Okay, so let's get into more things that George Paton and Sean Payton said after the draft. We kind of touched on this one, but just that the best player is going to play regardless of where they were picked. And so I just love that. Here's the exact quote from Sean Payton. He said, once they're sitting in that meeting room talking about the new guys and the rookies, he said, how they arrive is of no importance to us at that point. We're playing the best players. And we talked about this. We've touched on it. That's why I think there's a 5% chance, a percent chance that Jared Stidham's the starting quarterback week 1. It's slight, but just I truly think Sean means it.
I completely agree. Completely agree that if he believes Jared Stidham gives him the best chance to win in week 1, he will start him. I think that it's a lot more likely that Russell Wilson's last season was a fluke and that he gets back on track this year and is actually a good quarterback again than Jared Stidham being the starter. But in that same 5% chance that Stidham is a starter is the same 5% chance that Russ is just never going to be good again.
Yep.
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah.
I'd say less than 5% also.
Okay.
Give me like the half.
Half
Sure.
a percent.
Yeah.
Sure, and that's fair, but I just think that's how like extreme Sean Payton is that he's going to make everyone earn their job. Okay, let's talk about J.L. Skinner, and we're going to dive into the Broncos draft picks. I know you guys were on air Friday, Saturday talking about him. We're going to really take a deep dive into him throughout the rest of the week and next week as well, but just a quick thing on J.L. Skinner. He clearly fell in the draft because of that injury he suffered, which is just so unfortunate. 2 days before the combine, he's warming up on bench press and he tears his pec. I mean, how awful. It really did seem like he was a day 2 pick, maybe if he slipped out of day 2, like a 4th round pick, and he slipped to the 6th round because of this injury. And that's just the NFL overthinking things. Being stupid. Like, this guy's going to be fine come training camp. Why are you worried about this injury to where you're not going to pick him for a couple of rounds?
I think the big thing is the 40 time.
Yeah, they got less information.
Yeah. And maybe even more than that, it's a 3 cone. Because again, like he's just kind of tight. He's like a straight ahead guy. Doesn't turn.
I wonder if NFL teams would draft at a higher rate if the combine didn't exist. And they just
Maybe.
had to draft guys off of film.
Maybe.
Probably.
It reminds me of like this golf coach once told me that he takes the flags out when his high school team practices because aiming for the flag makes you miss the green more than if you just aim for the middle of the green.
Interesting. Yeah.
And so, yeah, I mean, I think the Broncos did the smart thing here, which is just like, this guy's good at football.
Yep.
If he tested and ran the 40 and he ran like a 4.62, he probably wouldn't have even got drafted. Like, that's like, how these things happen. The Broncos just said, yeah, we really like the way he plays.
And that's exactly what they said after drafting him. George Paton said the thing that really sticks out is his physicality and playing downhill in the run game. You see that all over the tape. He's a fun watch. And Sean Payton said he and George Paton were joined at the hip with J.L. Skinner, which I love. Clearly showing maybe they weren't joined at the hip for every player, but this one they absolutely were. And they referenced the tape that they watched, Ryan, pointing to what you said. They loved his tape.
Man, I would kill to be able to be in those conversations. Just let me watch.
Yeah.
Like, I just want to hear them go back and forth on a player.
Put
Yep.
a camera in there.
Yeah, we know that's not happening.
Yeah. Also, did you see the Broncos, like, whenever they did their recap videos, they would have, like, B-roll of those guys talking in the draft. And I was like,
Of course.
okay, so Sean doesn't always get his way.
It's just wild that they don't even release, like, they bury that in other videos. They're not just putting that video out on its own on Twitter.
Yep. It is crazy. But, yeah, I mean, the weird thing is, like, there's a chance that by the end of the year, your 3-4 defense, like your two linebackers are Josie Jewell and Alex Singleton, and then you go to nickel, and it's Drew Sanders and J.L. Skinner. Like,
Yeah.
you could take them both out. You could just, like, flip it. It's unlikely that that's what happens, but there's, like, a world in which that's what they do.
Yeah.
Man, the torn pec thing is so scary.
Why?
Just for anyone and everyone.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Like, guys in probably the best shape of his life,
yeah.
preparing for the biggest moment of his life, just lifting like normal,
Yep.
tears his pec.
Yep. And
Makes me live in constant fear.
yeah, I had never thought about potentially tearing my pec while bench pressing.
snapped.
And was a little scared this morning.
Yeah.
When I hit the bench.
Little flex,
Wow.
actually, literal flex.
Not too much weight. Not trying to flex too much.
Yeah,
is.
like you're just like running. You're like, man, people have torn their Achilles like this.
Yes, it's
Yeah,
true.
yeah.
Maybe I
They'll
should
just
just
pop.
stay inside.
When I
Maybe.
when I had the hole in one and it was running from the tee box to the green, which I didn't think in my head that was going to be a 150-yard sprint. Something I
That's
maybe have never done. I was just like, anything could go right now. My knees, my Achilles, heart.
but it didn't.
No, I survived.
Wow. It is, I mean, like, there are the two sides of it where you say, like, it's awesome that they were able to get him because he slipped because he was injured. How many times on this podcast have we said don't draft injured players? Like, you're just asking for trouble when you draft somebody who's been injured before and is injured again now.
That's a great point, and
Yep.
and something that needs to be brought up. To me, this one is different, or I could sell myself on
Yeah.
it. One, because you got him, he slipped because he was injured, but two, because this one, it wasn't like a chronic injury that he's had from playing football. This one really did just seem like a fluke, and I think for the most part, he's been fairly healthy.
Yeah. I think it was Drew Sanders who missed games.
Okay.
That's who it was.
So this one, but I'm really happy you brought that up because there can't just be that double standard there. And this one, to me, is just a fluke, different type of injury.
Yeah. And I'm all in on it. And I'm more in on drafting injured players in general. Like, if that's where the value is, that's where the value is. But it would really suck if this, like, flares up or the recovery is weird
Yeah.
or now he has a shoulder thing because of it and then things go that way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's the risk you run. It's a 6th-round pick.
Yeah, exactly. And you just play it safe. It's so funny because when you look at other people's 6th-round picks, you're like, oh, that guy will never play.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
You look at your 6th-round picks, you're like, this guy could start from day one.
It's so true.
Yeah.
It's so true.
Broncos nearly picked the center with Mr. Irrelevant, and we're already like,
Yeah, there were people saying, like, can he start?
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Well, and so let's
might
talk.
take Lloyd Cushenberry's job.
Let's talk about him. Alex Forsyth. After the draft, they said that they actually viewed him as a 6th-round pick, considered taking him with their 6th-round
What a
pick.
steal.
A round steal. He fell to the 7th round, and like you guys said, there are some people that think maybe he can compete for that center job. George and Sean made it clear that he is a center. He can slide out to guard if need be, but when we talked to Alex after he was drafted too, he made it pretty clear, like, yeah, I can move around, but I've really found my home at center over these past couple of years.
Yeah, and Emery, that's somebody who I was covering. Like, I think he graduated high school. He redshirted 2017.
2018 was his first year on the field.
Yeah, so then 2018 he played. I didn't even get there until 2019. So, like, he was established. Like, I voted for him for all Pac-12. It's actually kind of weird going back because there's like 1 year he missed half the season and he was like 2nd team all Pac-12 or whatever still. And I saw it and I was like, well, what the hell? You can't give that to those guys. And I was like, wait, I should check my ballot before I complain about this because that might have been me who did that. But It is crazy. Like, he's been like one of the best centers, maybe the best center in the Pac-12 for so long. Like, you've had these other guys come, like Voorhees is one of them. Who's the other? There was another Jackson
Kirkland.
No, but that's a good one.
Thanks.
I think his first name started with an A. He was a first-round pick from USC. I think he went to the Jets.
Yeah, not Andrew Jackson.
No, you're thinking of somebody else there.
He
That would
was
be a
on my
precedent.
man team for a while.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah. But you've like seen like these stars kind of
Yeah.
like come and surpass him. But he's been like the steady force in the Pac-12 for forever. So, I mean,
Been the steady Forsyth.
the steady Forsyth.
Forsyth.
But yeah, I mean, from what I've seen, he probably needs to get a little bit stronger. But technically and mentally and all that stuff, he's ready to go.
So Emery Hunt is someone we
Mm-hmm.
really respect on this show. We used to be able to get him on our draft show before he got too big for us.
Yeah.
Now he's doing his own draft show on like CBS Sports.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But he had him ranked as his number one center in the class. This is a deep center class. How many times did we
Yeah.
say that on the draft show? Like deep center class, deep center class, deep center class.
And really quick, to your point, 3 centers had gone off the board before the Broncos pick at 67.
Yes.
Just to show you, like, it's not like they were all going day 3.
So he goes through and ranks these guys like Madden style, which I love. And so listen to these grades. Run blocking 78, pass blocking 88, athleticism 76, footwork 86, functional strength 77, quickness 80, technique 80, recovery 78, redirecting 75, explosiveness 75, anchor 80, hand usage 83, recognition 90, overall grade 80, number one center in his class. I mean,
That guy's starting. If he is what he says he is, that's your day one starter when you don't have really a bona fide starter at the center position, which the Broncos don't.
well, and my favorite part of all of this is probably recognition,
Yeah.
which is a 90, which was the highest grade he gave him.
Yeah.
The lowest grade he gave him was a 75 on explosiveness. But the fact that he can be your brains at the line.
It's huge.
One of the worst realizations about Russell Wilson last year is that he wasn't that guy. And that was maybe my, for lack of a better term, most embarrassing miss about Russell Wilson. Is like, I just assumed 10-year NFL veteran, starting quarterback, multi-time Super Bowl player knows what he's looking at the line of scrimmage and calls out blitzes and gets you into the right play.
Yeah.
And he didn't do it whatsoever.
Yeah. Turns out he's just kind of a thrower.
Yeah.
He's just a really good thrower.
And so that scared me, man. When I realized that around like week 3, like Russ isn't changing things at the line based on what's coming at him. It was really scary. And Lloyd wasn't doing it either. So, if Forsyth turns out to be this guy, I would not be at all surprised if Sean Payton gives him the full power at the line of scrimmage to say, hey, it's on you. Call out the protections. I don't know how many centers are calling audibles, but maybe they have a sign that he can give to Russ, just like pat the left cheek, and that means, hey, let's get out of this pass and go to run.
Yeah.
What's more likely? So I mean, obviously he's willing to cut 4th round picks, 7th round center who maybe isn't strong enough. Cuttable. Is it more likely he's your week 1 starter or more likely he gets cut?
Because I'm still riding the draft high, I'll go week 1
Okay,
starter.
I like it.
Yeah, I definitely think he has a chance to be that week 1 starter, but I mean, he's a 7th round pick.
Yep.
3 picks away from being Mr. Irrelevant.
And the shame is the draft was longer.
Yeah.
Like it used to just be like the 255. Now there's
Right.
like those 4 more picks.
Right, which he benefited from.
He did. He was one of them.
Yep. I do think that he has a chance because you have Luke
Yep.
Wattenberg, who I think they're giving up on him.
I would.
You have
Hate to say
Lloyd
it, I would.
Cushenberry, who he said he's their starter, their week 1 starter as of right now. Sean Payton said that, but I mean, I think he's got a shot. I think he's number 2 in line.
Luke Wattenberg's barely over the weight limit to carry the ball in youth football.
Wow. It is like, I don't know. He seems like such a nice guy, but the truth is like they drafted him as a 25-year-old center out of Washington. I had no idea who he was.
Yeah.
Meanwhile,
Damn.
it's Forsyth.
Yep.
Like, it was like, oh, sick, Forsyth. I've been watching
Right.
him for forever. Like Wattenberg,
Two-time
there's
second
different
team all
tiers there.
conference, one-time first team all conference,
if I
second
can
team
find my
all
ballots.
American, 28 starts. I just want to finish this Emery Hunt scouting report.
Yeah.
While we're talking about
Yeah.
him, or should we save that for later?
For when we talk about him?
Yeah.
Let's save it. And
All right.
let's tell you about
Yeah.
our friends over at FOCO. We've got so many cool things on the set. This Broncos mini helmet here. We got so many banners behind us. We've got awesome bobbleheads. You can get pretty much all of that over at FOCO. And one thing I want to stress, FOCO is a great place to get a gift for someone. If you're getting a gift for a sports fan, you go to FOCO and you're going to be able to get that person something so unique and cool. And when you use that code DNVR, you're going to get 10%. So it's not just getting someone a cool gift, but you get a little discount when you do it. So make sure to get something for someone else and yourself. Of course, check out our friends over at FOCO for really any Colorado sports apparel, gear you're looking for. Rockies, Nuggets, Avs, everything. Check them out. FOCO, code DNVR. Shady Rays.
Go ahead.
No, thanks. Shady Rays. Yeah, so you know Shady Rays. They make sunglasses. They actually make really great sunglasses. There's some on the set. I personally can't see them.
I can't either.
They don't
They're under the D.
under the D. Oh yeah, there they are. There they are.
It
I
just
used to
it
love
mixes
those.
in with the
Yeah.
illegal Pete's thing. we
It
got.
does. Wow, we gotta hook those guys up.
If you want to put sunglasses under the D,
If you want
Oh,
to put sunglasses under the D, if you want sunglasses,
Oh my gosh.
got that one. Then get some sunglasses from Shady Rays.
Wow.
They've got awesome sunglasses. They've got a whole bunch of really cool perks when you buy them. If you don't like them for the first 30 days, you can send them back, get a new pair, a refund, or whatever you want. If you lose them or break them, not in the first 30 days, but at any point, they'll just send you a new pair with no questions asked. It's a really cool program. And also, you can get 50% off 2 or more pairs if you if you use the code DNVR when you buy them at shadyrays.com. They also have a store at the Park Meadows Mall, so go check them out there in person if you want.
Really quick, you probably noticed we're going live earlier today. If
Oh,
you're
yeah.
watching live
I
on YouTube,
noticed.
or if you're tuning in
I
at
definitely
noon and you're
noticed.
like, wait, these guys have already gone. It's
AM.
because our new
your
time
thing.
is 10
you would have
a.m.
just said
AM.
again because we've done that one before.
But it's been a while.
And that's going to be our new time moving forward. So make sure to keep tuning in with us and hit us with a thumbs up. Whether you're listening live or later, we really appreciate the thumbs up. Helps us a ton.
Summer schedule, baby.
Yep, let's go.
Shorts.
Yep.
So it's time. It's
Man,
time.
70s.
Yep.
Yeah, it's perfect for Shady Rays.
It
The
is
crazy.
foreseeable future, like the 10-day forecast, doesn't have anything lower than 70. I
This
love
is
it.
crazy.
Are we in the clear?
I don't know. I don't want to say that for sure and then come back to bite us later.
2 weeks away from Puerto Rico, man. I can't wait to wear my Shady Rays.
You're going to Puerto
Damn.
Rico?
Wow.
Is your mic on?
That for that one wasn't, but it was for the end of the glass.
Okay, so we got the D under the glasses, didn't get the Puerto Rico.
Wow, this might be a perfect Colorado week.
What is it? Like high 70?
73, 73, 77, 72, 74, 74, 75.
And pretty much all sun.
Every day.
Man, that
Couple
is-
days with chance of showers, which is
Man,
a good thing.
after being locked up in the Broncos on Friday and Saturday, went outside, went to the park yesterday. It was like 65, and I was
Yeah.
burning. I was like, how am I going to live when it's 90 degrees out?
You
It's
slowly
crazy.
but surely work
True.
your way.
You
up.
really
You work
do.
your way
You,
up.
you really do.
The new pod's wild too. Like I feel like my day's half over
But
when
it's
this is
just
over.
begun.
I know, and it's like, well, we're already like 8. Went to the gym, did the podcast, did all that stuff. What am I gonna do the rest of the day?
Yep.
I guess it's just right
I
about the
have
draft
just
for the
more
next few days.
podcasts and meetings.
That's true. I have Riley Moss.
I am gonna get some tea times in though, which I'm pretty stoked for.
Ooh. Yep. I mean,
Are you gonna get your golf game back together this year, Hank?
That's the
back
plan.
together? Was that a shot?
That's I mean, I didn't get it together last year. It's just a thing that only sometimes happens. Like you either get in the rhythm or you don't. I'm thinking so. I'm thinking
Nice.
so.
There we
Lexi
go.
really wants to golf a lot, so I don't even think I have a choice. If I did have a choice, I'd still think so.
Let's go.
Yep.
That's not the worst thing to be forced to do.
No.
No.
Yeah. No.
Nope.
No. Should we hop into the comment section?
Am I playing in the tournament Friday?
Probably not if you don't know by now.
Cool.
Oh.
My girlfriend is. Last year I had to go pick her up because she had been drinking at the course from our last tournament. She told me that's the plan again this time.
Let's go.
Yep.
Isn't this our Cinco
Scramble de Mayo.
Scramble de
Scramble de
Mayo.
Mayo.
This Friday. Where is it? Is it at City Park?
City Park.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
And then we're all coming back to the bar afterwards. It's going to
Wow.
be a banger. And
What are you
Nuggets
gonna-
play.
Wow.
Besides,
Oh, wow.
man.
besides beer, Breck brews, what else are you gonna drink that day?
Tequila.
Tequila, margaritas.
Lots
Yes.
of tequila.
Oh, yeah,
Let's
of
go.
course. Of
Tequila
course.
is my drink of choice on any day.
Yep.
Like I drink tequila on St. Patrick's Day.
Have you ever
Yeah.
had
But definitely on Cinco de Mayo.
Yes.
Have you ever had coconut infused tequila?
No.
No.
Delicious, best tequila I've ever
Is
had.
your mic on?
Sounds
That- yeah.
amazing.
I did
cool.
get this
Just
like
making sure.
jalapeno cucumber tequila hesitantly because like flavored tequila sounded weird. But for like kind of like a little cocktail, you want some extra flavors in there. It was really good.
Talk about maybe the weirdest alcohol I've ever had is a jalapeno coffee tequila. Very weird.
No.
Very
Yeah, that
weird.
is
Don't,
weird.
don't recommend.
I wouldn't have one of those.
Man, Friday especially. Not only is it a Nuggets game, but it's a long break between Nuggets
Yeah.
games, so everyone's going to be even more juiced for it.
I know it's
Yep.
it's a tough decision between take a nap or keep it rolling.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I think you're
You
going to
keep it rolling. Yeah, you just keep it rolling. You drink adios, motherfucker, and you're good to go.
Yeah, that
Wow.
seems like a good idea. Just in the execution, will you actually be able to do it?
The next day's a Saturday, so you can.
Nuggets don't play again until Sunday.
Don't have to worry about the Avs anymore.
Yeah, I feel like you're
That was
kind of
sad.
getting like some sick. I don't want to say joy out of this, but like you have been apathetic about it. It's
That-
kind of
Apathetic.
rubbing me the wrong way.
That's why Studio A should have been apathy for
No,
the
there's no
Avalanche.
apathy.
we've
I
done
just
that.
knew they weren't going to win the championship, so it's like, okay.
So you knew it was coming at some point.
It's like the Nuggets the last 2 years. You're like, yeah, they just don't have the firepower without those guys.
The thing is, like, maybe I'm crazy. I think the
Are.
Kraken might be really good. Like
They're
just
just
that
really deep, and that goes
exactly.
so long in hockey.
And it's specifically tough for the Avs. Like, I don't know.
Right, that was our weakness.
Exactly. And so that's why I thought if you get through that one, like I think they have a much better chance against the Stars than the Kraken. You already did that. And then all of a sudden you're in the conference finals. And the Bruins lost.
Yeah, I mean, I know where you're coming from. I was
Yeah.
thinking it too last night. I'm just like, wow, imagine a 0-0 series right now, how good that would feel. Just like all of your sins
Yeah.
from the
Right.
first round are forgiven.
Yeah.
Also, though, I wouldn't be surprised if Grubauer just played out of his mind this series because he was playing
Yeah.
against the Avs and then kind of struggles against another because he's kind of won, right?
Yeah, but I think that the Avs are better off losing now than later.
Yeah.
Why?
For next year.
Just go
Take a
take
nap.
like all they did. They played until what? July last year, and then partied probably until August, and then they had to start a season. Like they need rest.
Yep.
Wow. That's a spin job.
I wanted another
Spin
cup.
job. I like it.
Yep.
I wanted another cup too, but did you really think without Landy or Nuke they were going to win it?
Yeah,
I didn't
no,
think
not
so,
really.
but anybody has a chance. Like the Bruins just lost in the first round. Like
Man,
it's hockey, anything's possible.
After watching that Bruins game, because then it went directly to the Avs since the Avs had started. Within the first minute, you watch Nathan McKinnon, and you're like, this guy is so different.
Yeah.
And obviously
Yep.
you know that, but it was just another reminder. Going from the Bruins, the team that set the record for
Most
points
points.
in a season, then immediately, I think I turned when it flipped over. McKinnon was had the puck, and I'm like, oh my god, this guy's so different.
I know. Well, and that's how they got that. They won the division in the first place. Nathan
Right.
McKinnon
Yep.
carried them,
Right.
And
Mikko.
Mikko. And other than that, they didn't have much. And then they lose Nuke too.
Yeah.
And it's just like, man,
Yeah.
it's not. It doesn't really work that way in the playoffs. In the NBA playoffs, you can have two guys carry you a long way. It doesn't really work
I
that way.
understand.
They
with a
turned
couple
into
of
the
teams.
Oilers.
Yeah, it's very
That's
true.
what the Oilers have been.
Well,
That's why
this-
they make it to like second round or whatever.
That's true. The A doesn't stand for Avalanche in this pod, so we should jump back into
right.
Broncos a little
Yeah.
bit.
Yep.
Hit some super chats and some questions. We got one coming in from Isaiah Slow Talker says, I appreciate the shout out this past weekend. I love giving you guys content when I can. Chef's kiss. I'll keep them coming when possible.
Okay, so Isaiah made the Photoshop of George Payton looking at his screen and our
yes,
show reflecting
incredible.
back into it.
Yep.
Which I thought 100% of people would know wasn't real.
Just a cool little thing.
And yet people in our own company.
In our own company.
We have a
I'm starting
After
to think that
that-
our company might be the problem.
exactly.
Yes.
After the draft thing and the mock draft
Okay, the
thing.
mock draft thing got everyone.
Yeah, but our company is dumb. I think that's just where we are.
What's crazy is like that one came from me. Everyone knows I'm always full of shit. So
True.
Like if you get tricked by me,
Yeah.
you got to do some looking in the mirror.
It's true.
I mean,
And I wasn't even trying to trick anyone. It was like posted clearly as a bit.
that it was a great idea, Ryan Henry. You executed it perfectly. But if you thought that someone could have
I know.
predicted
I
all
know.
of that, and maybe I'm just thankful that I didn't have to be tricked into it, because maybe I would have bought into it and felt so stupid. But the Texans going back to back picks, like at that point, it should have just been like
the
what
Cardinals
the-
trading out and then trading back
Yes.
I know. No, I just said like, yeah, it's kind of crazy, but like if you really think about it, it almost makes too much sense.
Yes.
And then
what? No, it doesn't.
No, the one
predicting
that
a
would've gotten-
10-9 trade for a future fourth.
I think the one that would have gotten me is when you said, yeah, and they trade that for, I don't know, a future fourth or something. I would have been like, this one.
It's so good.
So it was incredible. And the glasses one. Could you imagine if George was actually watching our podcast during the draft?
He's like, hey, these guys just had a great point.
They should take A-Chain.
They're like, he's not even on our draft board. Where are you getting this from, George?
I've heard I want to hear people's stories about Henry's mock draft because I've already heard like several good ones. Someone told me that they woke up their significant other
my.
who was like dozing off her and now was like, babe, you gotta see this.
Oh my god.
Oh, man. There's probably still some people that didn't see the follow-up response and think it's just true.
I know. Even
Yep.
yesterday, like, was that yesterday? All these days, last Nuggets game, I was sitting down at the bar, and the people next to me, they was like, "You didn't actually get all 10 of those picks right, did you?" And I was like, "No, I didn't."
It is funny when like the first post goes viral, no one ever sees, or
No.
not everyone
Yeah.
sees the
Yeah,
reply.
Yeah,
It's
exactly.
crazy.
Which is so funny about that one. Because it didn't matter that it was fake.
I know.
Like, it's not like
so
we put out
good.
fake news.
No, there was
Yeah.
it was a victimless crime.
Yeah,
I know.
exactly. That's what made it fun.
It just got everybody.
It did.
Like, you see, like, oh, Adam retweeted it, so now all the NBA people are chiming in. Like,
Yeah.
there were, like, Montana TV people who were like, "Oh my god, I can't believe it." Just, like, all over. It's like, oh, we just got to there. Oh,
And we
got
only let it go for an hour.
Yeah.
I know.
We could have let it go all night.
Yeah.
We should wait till the end of the draft. It got up to like 560 or something, and then we put that out, and it was like, it tailed off.
It was
we could have
probably-
gotten.
It was
massive.
probably even better because Broncos fans had nothing to do. They weren't following the draft like that
Yeah, yeah.
intense. So
That's
this
why I
was
wanted
what
to do
took
it.
their attention. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
Oh,
great.
so good.
Z Reeves says, has anyone asked about the
Reeves.
alleged bong video? Yeah, speaking of victimless crimes.
Not even a
Not
crime.
even a crime.
Yeah,
Not
yeah.
even a
Oh,
crime.
it depends on where he did it.
Also,
we
it
don't know where
depends
he
on
was.
who was filming.
Yeah, the bigger crime is that he
think
was filmed in actually
Filming
what he
without
was
That is a
doing.
crime.
knowledge, even if it's in,
And there's a victim.
even if it's in his house.
Wow.
Like if it's that kid's house, can he just film whatever he wants in there?
I don't know.
No idea.
In public, I don't know. There's weird laws that vary
Yeah.
by state.
Anyways, don't care. I kind of actually no, I do care. I hope it was him.
Makes him more relatable.
It just that's cool to me.
I mean, it was him.
Allegedly.
I've seen Sean Payton so many times. I saw him in the video again.
Have you ever seen other dads though? They all look like him.
Fair
There's
point.
there's particular things about Sean Payton.
Fair enough.
It's him.
Good.
What things are we
He's him.
talking about? Are you thinking about the combine head coach photo?
No, I'm not. No, I'm not thinking about penis. That's weird.
Well, I don't know. You're like, there's certain things about it.
Hank's like, I know that bulge anywhere.
No, it has a very unique shape about him.
He does
Sean
have the
Payton has
unique
It's
shape.
like
Shape.
bench press. You know,
Bench press.
Barrel chest kind of.
barrel chest is the phrase. Which I mean, he's not the only one, but he's not. No, he's not. We're not.
Oh my
No,
gosh.
he's not. Off camera talking.
Could you imagine if in the post-draft press conference I asked him about that, what reaction would I have got? Right after being asked about JL Skinner.
Oh God, it
about
like
Alex
makes my
Forsyth.
skin crawl
Oh
thinking
my
about
God.
the way he would have looked at you.
Oh my God.
How many
Oh.
players could we have gotten cut if we just did like a video with RG, just like, hey, what'd you think of Sean Payton's bong video? Could we get 5 guys cut based on their answers?
No.
Man, that would be brutal. All right, let's
maybe
get
if
to
it
a
was
couple,
Russell Wilson, he
couple of
might get
questions. Couple of questions on the website. First from The Count says, I'm calling a flagrant 2 on Hank for the whispering incident.
No.
Love the count. That means
Was I there for that?
No.
you were off. You were off screen.
We were having-
that was a really bad moment for.
for Yahir.
It was a
for the
bad moment for
producer.
DNVR. It was a bad moment for Yahir. Therefore, a bad moment for DNVR.
Wow. So basically what happened was Zach was really, really quiet when he called in. And so that's Yahir's fault, first of all, not his fart. But so then
my fart, dude, at that
we
time,
bounced it out by whispering. And so
God.
we all whispered
Yeah.
so it would balance and people could just turn the volume up.
Yeah, it's weird.
It was really
weird.
fun. It was so fun.
At the end, it wasn't helping because all I did was put my mic next to Zach, and it worked a lot better. And Hank was still whispering the
Yeah,
whole
but then
time.
the chat would say, no, it's still like quiet.
It wasn't perfect. What can I say?
Well, we knew it wasn't perfect.
I like the ingenuity by you guys.
Yeah.
Thank you. A lot of people didn't like the whispering.
Draft show was fun. You guys crushed it.
Thank you.
That was
Thank
fun.
you. Andre killed it too.
Yep.
That was Jake killed it too.
Yep.
Yeah.
That was fun. I can't wait until the Broncos have a first round pick again. That'll be really fun.
Or a second. Could you imagine that? I guess technically they did this
They
year.
did.
But just the worst way to get a second round pick is right before the pick.
Yeah.
So you can't even like preview that they're
Yeah.
going to have a second round pick.
I know.
Yeah.
Did we talk about any of the players? Did any of the players that we did in our preview series get drafted by the Broncos?
No.
I didn't think so.
No.
Last year we did really well.
Yeah, we
Wow.
did. We did. Don't want to name names, but Henry and Andre came up with that list.
Mostly Andre.
Maybe I'll take control of that next year.
I saw
Yeah.
Henry was like, I'm going to put 60 of these players in there. And
I had guys like going in the first
Yeah.
round. Other guys are dropping way back. Well, I just took Dre's list and was like, a little bit light on running back, so I put a running back in. Threw in I think some tight ends. Tight
Henry
ends were
just
all
did
me.
guys that he wanted to talk about.
Smart. He's like, I'm experts with these
then we
guys,
had
so let's do
JL
'em.
Skinner in there.
We got another super chat coming in from Z Reeves. Says, do you see
Zreeves.
Sean Payton making the game day locker room similar to the Saints? Lights, music, etc. I am also glad Payton is indulging in Denver's finest herbs.
Aren't we all?
We hope it was Denver's.
Anything is possible. He might say, you guys have to earn it. Like we're stripping anything with any color in there. This is just going to be bricks and cinder blocks and lame. Or he might say, like, we need the attitude.
But the thing is, you do earn it. You earn Club Dub
By
by
winning.
getting the dub. So
True.
I do think Club Dub is going to be back. That was
I
very
was-
much his thing, not a Saints thing. So just
If I was Sean,
name it
I would
Club
say,
Dub.
fellas, Club Dub has made the decision that they can't stay open if they can only get a crowd 4 times a year. So we have no Club Dub until that they could be open at least once every other week.
So until they hit 5 wins.
No, 8.
8.
Oh, Joe.
Wow, man, that first Club Dub.
it actually should be 6 wins. You know, COVID, you can open after COVID, 6 feet distance. That should be 6 wins.
Wow,
I don't know what
that
he's
was
talking
that
about.
was like a 2 years ago.
Yeah, great joke
Yeah.
from 20
What do you call it, Club Dub?
December 2020.
I
I'm
would think
still
so
on
because
it,
that
dude.
was his thing. It wasn't the
Didn't-
Saints thing.
Did the Saints keep it, though?
Probably, I would
So it'd
think
be kind
so.
of weird just be like, hey, also
Those were
Club
actually
Dub.
his lights. He took it out.
I will say
I'm
the
taking my sound system with me.
the most updated thing in the Broncos stadium and practice facility is their home locker room. They completely redid that before
Yeah.
last season.
Well, and because no cameras are allowed anywhere anymore, they could just like rip the bong in Club Dub.
Wow.
Yeah, they could.
Oh, yeah, they're not, are they testing for that anymore?
No.
There you go.
Are you sure?
NBA is.
Yeah, I think the NFL still is.
I think the NFL hasn't for a while.
Yeah, maybe it has gone on the back burner.
Yeah.
Well, the NFL does like one. You get like one test, and you know when it's coming.
Right,
Ish.
right. Just don't be stupid.
Yeah.
Is what it boils down to.
It's
No,
that's literally what it's.
I don't think you can get tested anymore because
Really?
that was because Randy Gregory, because that was one of the things was yeah. I mean it's sort of funny I guess, but because that's why he missed half the time. Why I wasn't concerned was because you can't get suspended for that anymore.
Okay. And next one coming in from Denver 24758 says, "My boys, the Cutthroat Trout." Perfect nickname, Adam Cutthroat Trout.
Oh, how do we not think of the Cutthroats?
Yeah.
Local Denver hockey
It's
team.
very true. It's very true. That's good, Denver.
So 2021, they are tested once a year, but they can't be suspended. They can only be fined. So just for that one.
There you go.
Yeah, might be an expensive hit.
And
be
last
worth it.
one from Nash Bronco says, I think I'm beginning to learn that it's best to go into things with little to no preconceived notions. Last year, we expected the turnaround. We got the worst year of football I've ever seen, maybe from any team ever.
Agreed.
I had no idea what to expect from this year's draft, and I'm honestly thrilled with the class. What can we take away from this? How do we strike the balance between maintaining standards of the franchise and being open to what really happens? That's why Sean Payton's shutting everything down. He doesn't want any expectation. He doesn't want any hype on this team.
He doesn't want anyone to think about the Broncos.
Very
Yep.
true, until Sunday comes around.
It's honestly a marvel that I'm still like football after watching the Buffs and Broncos last year.
Oh,
Yeah.
It's really true. It's really true. Now you have this resurgence specifically with the Buffs.
That
And
one-
Dion couldn't be doing the more opposite of Sean Payton.
Don't know who Dion is, but
Oh my gosh.
Oh my goodness.
Dion, Coach Prime Sanders.
I saw you tweet it right.
Sorry,
Good
sorry.
job.
Yeah, I did tweet it right. I did it for you.
Thank you. Yeah, he is doing it the exact opposite, which I think is more important in college football.
Can't believe
Yeah.
I can't say Dion.
His name is Dion. He's
Do you say
Prime
Nick when you talk about the
Sanders.
coach of Alabama?
Yep.
I don't say Nick the God Saban.
You say Coach Saban
Say Nick.
or Nick Saban.
Yeah, or Nick Saban. But see, if I say Deion Sanders, you'd be like, no, that's not his name.
Yeah,
Did you see? But I mean, because that's what Dion said.
that's like
at
me
the
calling
press
you
conference at
Zachary
Jackson State.
Stevens. You like to
Yes.
be called Zach.
Yeah, somebody said like, "Hey Dion."
But with his, I should be going by like Zac Stevens. You can't call me Zach. It's got to be Zac Stevens.
That's fine.
With the nickname,
I would
that'd
do
be
that.
weird.
No, it's Zach Numby.
Some guy
Stevens.
tweeted
There
at-
we go.
Some guy tweeted at me about this, and I was like, I don't know where you're from, but where I'm from, you just call people what they ask to be called.
Wow.
I
So
mean,
then, wait.
their
so,
name.
So then, what did you think of who is the former Jason Garrett when he had his thing 2 years ago, where he was like, a reporter called him like
Jason.
Jason, and he was like, "I'm Coach Garrett to you."
I think wasn't that Matt Patricia?
No, it was definitely happened to Jason Garrett.
Okay.
He was the offensive coordinator of the Giants. What'd you think of that? I feel like we dogged him for that.
Oh yeah, it's dumb.
Yeah, it's yeah. Yes,
so dumb.
thank
No,
you.
Yes, it is.
I don't think so. Like,
Someone go find the clip. Pretty sure Ryan
we
dogged him
gotta
for that.
find the clip. Yep.
I think a lot of it has to do with swag.
yeah, well, that's what I was gonna say.
Swag.
Even if I did, like, Jason Garrett hasn't earned that right.
Okay.
But I actually,
Has Coach Sanders, has Coach Prime
I'm pretty
earned
sure
that?
what I would have said is I call all the coaches Coach whatever.
Yeah, and I do too.
I don't.
So that would be
For the
like,
most part.
I would never call Gary Kubiak, hey Gary, nice. Like I'd be like, hey Coach, thanks for talking to us today. Blah blah blah. Like,
But the best one was when
and if I was talking to Coach Prime, I would say the same thing. I wouldn't say, hey Coach Prime. I'd just say, hey Coach.
Right.
the best one though was when somebody asked Dion. There's like, so Dion,
Don't know who that
whatever,
is.
and he said, "You don't call me that. Would you call Nick Saban Nick, the same one?" And then people just cut together all the clips of like reporters just calling Nick Saban Nick and being totally cool with it. Just like, hey Nick, hey Nick, Nick, hey Nick. And it's
disrespectful.
incredible. No, it's not.
it's
It's
like-
a name.
It's
your
like
name.
calling someone who's earned their doctorate Mr. Simone. Like, no, it's Dr. Simone.
Do you call my
Oh,
dad Dr.
damn.
Chisholm?
Yes.
No, you
That's
don't.
a good
That's
point.
just not
That's a
real.
good
That's just not
I
real.
call him
That's
Dr.
just not
Dean.
real. No, you don't. No, you don't.
I actually do call Andre Simone Dr. Dre.
Dean, if you're watching.
Which is
if-
disrespectful
I do.
to doctors. Wow, look at you, Zach.
You just did it. You just called him Dean instead of Doctor.
just did.
Not even Mr. Chisholm. You called him Dean.
Listen,
Wow,
listen.
calling him his name. How could you?
Dean, if you're listening and you want me to call you Dr. Chisholm from here on out, I'll happily do it.
Wow.
There we go.
He is a surgeon on the golf course, I'll tell you that.
Wow. Yes. Didn't get his doctorate in golf.
And in the courtroom.
Just to be clear.
Yeah.
More so there.
Yeah. Speaking of Dr. Dre, he is kicking us out right now.
I know.
Good.
We have
He is the
schedules.
doctor of bets, which is coming up next.
So many
He's
things I
actually a
want to
professor
say.
on that show.
Oh, a professor, which is a doctor, right?
Well,
Sometimes it can be.
usually.
Generally.
Yeah. A PhD doctor. If you have your PhD, you're a doctor.
This is a house of learning
there we
doctors.
Go. There we go.
Wow.
All right. That is going to wrap it up for us today. That was fun.
That
Good
was.
job, guys.
That was good.
We were
see you
just starting
tomorrow.
to cook.